Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there lived in a village a little girl that everybody called Little Red Riding Hood because of the hood she wore. One day her mother said to her, "Go, my dear, and see how your grandmother is doing, for I hear she has been very ill. Take her a cake and a pot of butter." As she was going through the woods, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf who wanted to eat her up, but dared not because of some woodcutters working nearby. He asked her where she was going, and the child, who didn't know that wolves are dangerous, said to him, "I am carrying a cake and a pot of butter to my grandmother." "Does she live far off?" asked the wolf. "It is beyond that mill you see there," answered Little Red Riding Hood. "I'll go and see her too," said the wolf. "I'll go this way and you go that way, and we'll see who will be there first." The wolf took the shortest path and ran as fast as he could, while the little girl took a roundabout way, entertaining herself by gathering nuts and flowers and running after butterflies. The wolf soon arrived at the old woman's house. He knocked at the door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood, replied the wolf, counterfeiting her voice. Who has brought you a cake and a pot of butter? The grandmother, who was in bed because she was ill, cried out. Pull the bobbin and the latch will go up. The wolf pulled the bobbin and the door opened, and then he immediately fell upon the old woman and locked her in a closet. He hastily put on the grandmother's nightdress and nightcap, then got into her bed and pulled the blanket up to his nose. Then came Little Red Riding Hood and knocked at the door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Little Red Riding Hood, hearing the big voice of the wolf, believed her grandmother had a cold and answered, It is your grandchild who has brought you a cake and a pot of butter. The wolf cried out to her, softening his voice. Pull the bobbin and the latch will go up. Little Red Riding Hood pulled the bobbin and the door opened. The wolf said to her, hiding himself under the bedclothes. "Put the cake and the pot of butter upon the stool and come to bed with me." Little Red Riding Hood took off her clothes and got into bed. She was greatly amazed to see how her grandmother looked in her nightclothes. She said to her, "Grandmother, what big arms you have." "All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Grandmother, what big legs you have." "All the better to run with, my child." "Grandmother, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my child." "Grandmother, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my child." "Grandmother, what big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you up with." And saying these words, the wicked wolf fell upon Little Red Riding Hood. Screaming all she could, she ran to the door, but she was trembling so much that she couldn't open it. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. When he arrived, he saw the wolf and Little Red Riding Hood through the window. He rushed in and knocked out the wolf, right in time. With his claws, the beast had already grabbed Little Red Riding Hood's dress. The woodsman held the little girl against his heart when they heard someone knocking in the closet. It was the grandmother, of course. The three of them were happy. The woodsman took the wolf's pelt home. The grandmother ate the cake and butter and became strong and well again. And Little Red Riding Hood thought to herself, I will never leave the path and run off into the woods by myself if Mother tells me not to. Little Red Riding Hood. Puzzle. Little Red Riding Hood. Find the pears. Little Red Riding Hood. Color art. Little Red Riding Hood. Find the intruder. Little Red Riding Hood. Find the differences. Little Red Riding Hood. Find the image. Little Red Riding Hood. Tell your own story. Gate. Tree. Mother. Trees. Shutter. Little Red Riding Hood. Mouse. Wolf. Woodworker. Woodpecker. Rabbit. Mushrooms. Tree. Spider. Flowers. Flowers. Mushrooms. Flowers. Owl. Deer. Tree. Little Red Riding Hood. Tortoise. Lizard. Butterfly. Wolf. Rabbit. Mole. Ant. Bee. Sheep. Cat. Butterfly. Flowers. Wolf. Bell. Shutter. Grandma. Cat. Mouse. Cheese. Wolf. Oil lamp. Picture. Grandma. Mouse. Dog. Dragonfly. Flowers. Little Red Riding Hood. Bell. Shutter. Wolf. Dog. Mouse. Spider. Sparrow. Wolf. Stove. Wolf. Spider. Little Red Riding Hood. Picture. Oil lamp. Mouse. Wolf. Stool. Picture. Little Red Riding Hood. Ladybird. Stool. Oil lamp. Cat. Flowers. Flowers. Little Red Riding Hood. Dog. Cat. Snail. Butterfly. Bird. Tree. Woodsman. bell, flowers, wolf, mouse, picture, oil lamp, chest, woodsman, Little Red Riding Hood, ladybird, spider, door, wolf, woodsman, tree, sun, bird, tree, bell, Little Red Riding Hood, mouse, grandma,